But can I just add one thing here? You talked about a lot of people with, like in graphic designers and architects. So you're choosing quite a high bar in terms of the knowledge that somebody would bring, like a design job. But I'm going to say the person who runs that jig borer has actually got a lot of knowledge as well.
Oh, yeah.
And the idea that they're better
only we
off...
knew what a jig borer was.
Okay.
Maybe pick something a bit more familiar.
I like jig borers because they're
I know you too.
Well,
you
they're a
love that
machine
sort of
that's
thing,
very difficult to learn. It takes 10 or 15 years to master.
But we could use something like a lathe or a...
all right, then.
It's just something more familiar, a jig borer.
Something Andrew can grasp.
That's right. Look at that.
Yeah.
You see these left-brain thinkers, almost the same.
It's
bring us down.
It's like being the expert for the person
with... you're right. Because somebody watching this will probably might not know what a jig borer is. Why should they?
So let's talk about the expert. But my point is, if they can do that in context where that particular skill is very important, and they can master the others in order to be self-employed, the freelancer, as you talked about, there's a lot more money in it for them rather than rattling their stickers.
I've got two other examples, like hairdresser. Hairdresser, why should they be part of a company? They could just be a freelance one. And there are lots of freelance hairdressers. And some of them take a chair in a salon, but they're still freelance. And then car mechanics, another one really. You know, it's quite difficult. You don't get organisations that have hundreds of car mechanics, apart from maybe Quick Fit or whatever. But then they've got like a tyre franchise. It's sort of maybe different. But somebody who repairs cars might as well be a one-man band. Yeah. And lots of them are, and they're happy, and that's great. So that works.
But also, tyres now, the tyre model is moving away from these centralised, like Quick Fit. And so there's a man in a van comes and changes your tyre on your car in your front garden.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. I want that.
So that model is going to, it might be a franchise model, but franchises are loose and are very different.
And you could have a one-person franchise where they just
very much
turn
so,
up.
yeah.
So the point that
just to quickly finish the tyre thing, if you go to Quick Fit, they've got a great big warehouse with all the sizes that you might want.
Except for yours.
Yes, they've never got the one I want. It's
Come
true.
back tomorrow.
But I suppose the one-man band could go and pick up the tyres from a warehouse and then do the rest of it. They could do the rest of it, they just wouldn't do the storage. But that would give Quick Fit the advantage, because it would be quicker for me to go there. Actually, it wouldn't, would it? Because the one-man band comes to my door.
That's right, and he picks up the tyre on the way.
So yet again, the small version is better.
So the devolved economy, so rather it's a decentralised economy, so rather than having Quick Fit, you have a whole group of tyre fitters who drive around in their own vans, collecting their own stock and servicing customers they've arranged on the internet or a website or on the phone. That model allows for the client to get a better service and for the tyre fitter not to have an army of people above them, army of bureaucrats and managers.
No management required.
And to get more money for the skill that they've got.
Yes.
They don't have to be an architect or a graphic designer, but they do have to be planning their journeys and making sure that they've got clients who live in their local town and not 2 towns away where they have to spend most of the time driving. All those things, all that knowledge of logistics and coordination, experience of fitting tyres when it's difficult, going to people's houses and they've parked their car on a lawn or something, how are you going to jack that up? All those things that require the in-depth knowledge of the tyre fitter. In the freelance model, they can get a far better living than they can. Look, they might not be paid holiday pay, but they might get twice as much money for when they're working.
Well, holiday pay is a sort of a myth, isn't it? Because I'm a freelancer, I don't get holiday pay, but I earn more for the rest of the time. And if we had a group of people and we somehow had holiday pay, who's paying for the holiday pay? The answer is I'm having to pay for everybody else's holiday. We're all paying for each other's holidays.
Of course.
So you pay one way or another for the holidays.
I bet you're
They're not some free thing.
The customers are paying for the holidays.
Yes, well, somebody is. But if the customers will pay that much, they'll pay me. I mean, I charge my customers slightly more to allow for the fact that I have to go on holiday occasionally. And then I need to be fed.
And you're used to a manager, you're used to fancy holidays.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But the point is, somebody is paying for the holiday pay, whatever you do. So organisations don't have some magic access to free holiday pay.
No.
So that's not a problem with our model.
No, of course not.
It's going to be paid in exactly the same way. It's just a bit more lumpy. I need to save a bit up when I'm earning for when I go on holiday. But I can cope with that.
Yeah.
Well, and that
certainly a knowledge worker. And
anybody can cope with that.
But hold on. The tyre worker in the past just literally did tyres.
Yeah.
And he might have just done part of it. So I go to a place, for instance, and the guy doesn't do the whole process from taking the tyre off to putting it back on again. It's split up into 4 sections, and there's a guy in each section as it flows round, and he finishes.
Really? You go to a fancy place?
Yeah. No, it's not that fancy, I can assure you. But it is. That's how it is. That's how they split the work up.
Right.
Yeah. So, and that's a classic example of somewhere where you would have holiday pay. Okay, and there's no improvement. The guy can't do anything to improve his lot. He's literally a button presser. I do that. Beep, beep. Cup of tea now. And there is no. Whereas if you taking the example of Julian's model, whereas you can take control of a much wider range of aspects of your job, including the logistics and coordination of it all, you can really change the way you live. You can have more time off. You can get paid more. You can delight your customers more. There's loads of things you can do.
Yes, the travelling tyre fitter will have ownership of their own business. They'll care. Yeah. They'll care about quality. Yeah. There's an incentive to be creative. Yep. There's an incentive to be more efficient. They're going to enjoy it more.
Yeah.
There's no money being wasted by management because there's always a manager in these tyre places as well who does nothing.
Yeah.
So there are so many benefits of being a travelling tyre fitter as opposed to somebody who's just pressing the button in the quick fit centre.
That's right.
Well, and I don't
want to decry quick
and the cost
fit.
Of the building as well.
I don't want to decry quick fit.
No, other tyre people are available.
It's just a model, and it's the question is that model being overtaken with other models?